Hi friends, welcome to my channel. So I recently made the decision to cancel my fairyloot YA subscription. The primary reason is, one, I'm not a huge YA reader anymore, and I find that in the past 2 years or so that I've had this, there's been a few standout books for sure, a few that I've really enjoyed, but the vast majority of these are just kind of okay to me. I haven't really found that many books that I actually enjoy and that many books that I kind of even want to keep, outside of the fact that the editions are beautiful. So in today's video, I'm going to just read whatever books I've left on my shelf from the YA subscription, which, to be fair, I don't think there's that many. I've actually been pretty good about staying up to date with what books are coming in. And yeah, just reading these and seeing if, I don't know, if I like any of them. I don't think anything's going to really change my mind about keeping the subscription. And one thing I've really thought of is if there's an edition that I really, really want, I can find it, I can find a reseller who I can buy it from. So if there is something that I feel deeply, deeply in my heart that I need, I can figure out a way. So yeah, we're just gonna take a look at these today. Another big reason why I decided to cancel the subscription is that fairyloot recently announced that they're gonna be coming out with a romantasy subscription, and they have an adult book only box, which I get, and I definitely do prefer the books through that. Plus, I think I can't really justify in my mind getting 3 separate subscriptions for them, especially when all of them are monthly. So I think I would much rather keep the adult and get the romantasy, because adult fantasy and adult romantasy, those are the books that I typically want to read. So all of that, I'm really not seeing a reason to keep this YA subscription anymore. I'm not seeing anything that anything in my heart that is making me feel like I would miss this that much. And yeah, there's definitely some books that I've really enjoyed, Divine Rivals came out this year and it was one of the YA books. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars, and I can't really think of that many else that I loved this much. Again, I can very, very easily find these editions if I need to. So yeah, let's take a look at what books I'm gonna read. We're gonna go over to the shelves and find whatever ones are outstanding and then go over those. Okay, my newer in books are over here. Scarlet Alchemist, this was YA. Yeah, so there's this one. That was adult, not with fairyloot. I've read that. What else? Oh, this just came in. This is one. Then this is an example of one that I DNF'd and I want to get rid of. So there's so many books that just don't do it for me. And I think this was fairyloot. Yeah, this was fairyloot. Okay, so this one. So I'm actually pretty impressed with myself, but I only had 3 books that were unread from fairyloot YA on my bookshelf, and 2 of them just came in the last few months, so I'm actually doing pretty good with this. So first off, we have Sing Me to Sleep by Gabby Burton. This is a siren. She's the last siren in her kingdom. She pretends to be a fae and at night satisfies her darker urges. All right, so apparently this one's similar to The Cruel Prince and To Kill a Kingdom. That actually sounds pretty good. So Sing Me to Sleep is the first one we have. Then next up, this just came in I'm gonna say January. It's A Fragile Enchantment. And this is, so it's seamstress who forms a romance with the prince of her realm. So we have this, and then The Scarlet Alchemist, which also, I think this is one of the prettiest editions I've seen in a bit. And this is, wow, shocking, about alchemy. So it's in a historical fantasy in southern China, and we're following somebody who's offered the chance to travel to the capital and compete in imperial exams. So I think that's kind of making her an official alchemist of the country. So we have 3 books. I have a best feeling about A Fragile Enchantment. Maybe it's just because it's the only one I've really heard people talk about. Haven't heard very much about the other 2, but perfect time to get through these. And yeah, we are going to be reading these. I'm also thinking that I might do a video at some point going over the last year of all of the fairyloot YA books, and also probably a version of the adult. So let me know if you're interested in that, which it would just be a video going over in depth all of the books that came out in the last year and my thoughts on them. Yeah, let me know if you'd find that interesting, because I've been thinking of doing that. And then once I'm done this, I'll be ready to go. Let's get ready. Let's dive in. Let's start reading. So I really meant to update as I was going through The Scarlet Alchemist, but it ended up being such a quick read. Like I think it's over 400 pages, but it was a really fast read for me. So I ended up finishing this like very quickly. Also, just a moment for the artwork, a moment for the sprayed edges too. And I'm just gonna share some of the, so here is artwork that came on the thing, the author's letter artwork inside, and then just the foiled edges. I feel like for every book, I'm just gonna have to share all of those so we can just appreciate how beautiful it is. But yeah, this was a super quick read for me. And I'm gonna say, like, just to start off with, I give it a 3-star, which again, this is another one of those examples of this was a perfectly fine book. It was not exceptional. It was not terrible. It was just like completely fine. So we're following a young woman. She is about 18 and she works in her like aunt and uncle's ceramics pottery store, but also on the side has a secret business where she is able to resurrect the dead. So she is a certain type of alchemist called a blood alchemist, where she is able to do alchemy. She's very self-taught. It's usually something that is a little more regulated in this country, but she has been doing this in secret. And also resurrection alchemy is something that has been like incredibly illegal. Nobody's allowed to do it, so she keeps doing it in secret. But there's certain rules where if the body has to be fairly fresh, she's able to just do her alchemy and bring it back to life. And seemingly these bodies, as long as they are in good condition, they go on and live a perfectly normal life. Like you would never be able to tell that they had one day been dead. Like they seem to age normally, their bodies like act normally, like everything is fine. But she and her cousins have had this goal for their entire lives that one day they are going to go to the capital and basically take these scholar exams. So for her, she's going to try and be a royal alchemist, and her cousins want to be scholars, but they decide to take these tests, go, and she basically gets to the capital, gets involved in these competitions to become an alchemist, which are incredibly complicated. And then she does become a royal alchemist. She becomes the Scarlet Alchemist because of the fact that she does blood alchemy, and starts to uncover all of these like really intense secrets about the royal family, and really all of these ones about just the deep secrets that have been keeping this society like in a terrible place, kind of like just these really dark things that they've been doing. So overall, pretty good. It's the first book in a series too, and I really don't have any intention of going forward. Like I think this ended in a perfectly fine spot. I didn't feel any like there's a mystery. It is kind of hinted at, and it hints at where the next book will go, but I'm good. I feel no desire to go forward. And I also felt that the ending of this was super weird. Just very easy and convenient plot things happened at the end that just made everything kind of end in a nice spot, and it's a little ridiculous. And yeah, I am completely fine with ending this where it is. So overall, enjoyable. If you're interested in alchemy, or this one takes place, I believe, in the Tang Dynasty of China. If you're interested in any more like historical Chinese books, could be for you. Also historical, but also magical, I guess. Overall, very decent, just maybe not necessarily my thing. And so it was YA. Did it feel too young for me? Not really. This one felt completely fine because we're following a slightly older protagonist. I believe she's 17, 18, around there. So it didn't really feel like it was super young. So when it's YA with slightly older characters, I'm usually fine with that. And again, I love the edition. It is really beautiful, and I'm really happy to have this on my shelves. But would this have been a book that I bought for myself? No, I wouldn't have picked this out for myself. I wouldn't have read it for myself. And it's definitely not one that, had I had the choice to go out and buy, I would not have wanted to. Another one that, like, yes, beautiful, but not necessary for me to own. Book one down, and we actually have one to haul that I completely forgot that I was actually getting another fairyloot box this month. So we have The Crimson Moth, and I do believe that this is in the US published under The Heartless Hunter. So just that. But I did forget that I had another box coming this month where I haven't yet canceled the YA box. So now the amount of books we have has gone up, and I am going to add this one to the TBR for this video. So again, I really hate when they've been doing these illustrations of people on the cover. It's just like not my thing. And this is book 1 in the Crimson Moth duology, and there has been a devastating revolution where witches have been diminished from powerful rulers to outcasts, ruthlessly hunted due to their waning magic, and we're following a young witch in it. I will say this is actually one that I am incredibly excited for, and one that I actually have, because I guess I didn't know that this was the same as the Heartless Hunter, so it is actually one that I have on hold at the library and that I was hoping to get very soon, so I'm excited. And yeah, this is one that I actually am very happy to have in the mail. So yes, we have another book for the TBR, and one that I'm feeling very hopeful about. So still 3 more books to go. We are gonna go. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna get started on next. I don't know, I'm like, should I go with something I'm super excited for, or should I go like one of the books that I just want to get over with and like leave the good ones for the end? I don't know, but I will check back in when I have something to say. Hello, good morning. Okay, so I went to a cafe last night before my book club, which we read Woven by Gold, which is a little fantasy romance wide shoes thing. But anyways, so before that I went to a cafe and I got like 150 pages into the Crimson Moth, which this is a fast read. It is like classic YA, very fast read, and you know, I'm actually really enjoying it. So we're following, this is Rune. She is a witch in secret. She's also like a high society member of this world where witches are outlawed. So she had been adopted by this elderly lady who was a witch, and at the time, like 2 years previous to the story, there had been this big revolution where the witch queens were killed and all of the witches within the realm were also killed. And basically it had come to light that Rune's grandmother was a witch. Her grandmother basically forced her to like be the one to like betray her, I guess. Her grandmother was like, if you don't act like you're the one betraying me, we're both gonna be killed. So I need you to pretend to be like the one coming forth with the knowledge. So anyways, Rune basically sent her grandmother to the death and has been living the last 2 years as just a high society member, like very much like acting like she's just a silly girl with no brain. And in secret, she is a witch, and she's also this like basically figure within the world known as the Crimson Moth, who goes and liberates witches who are being hunted down. So right now she is still doing this, but we're also following the perspective of Gideon, who is a witch hunter. Rune is really good friends with his brother, and he's starting to suspect that maybe Rune could be this Crimson Moth. So he comes up with this plan to try and seduce her to get information, but also she is going along with it because she thinks that if she seduces him, he will start letting things slip about what he is doing, like what kind of missions he's on, what kind of investigations he's doing. So that's where we are right now, is just like the two of them kind of trying to use each other and trying to get information out of each other. I'm actually quite enjoying it. It's like the writing is very, very classic YA. The vibes are very classic YA, and that is not being a problem to me at all. Like it just feels like a very solid story that very decently enjoyable, you know, like very much like I have an idea that I know where this is going and it might surprise me, but I also have a feeling that it could be very formulaic, but I'm still fine with that. It's the type of story that I really enjoy, so if it is just going along those lines, I'm fine. Since we last spoke, several days have passed, mostly because I got intensely sick, and I'm pretty sure you can still hear it, but I very, very randomly got like incredibly sick for about 3 days and couldn't speak. I'm just starting to come back to it now, and yeah, like I don't know what happened. It just very, very suddenly got really bad and then seems to have been going away pretty quickly too. But I do have updates, and most of them were, you would have seen in the B-roll, is that I finished the Crimson Moth and started on A Fragile Enchantment. So please excuse how nasally. I know I'm going to sound super nasally, but I do want to just get this filmed because I'm actually feeling better now. So the Crimson Moth, I really, really enjoyed this one. It, I will say, did not go anywhere unexpected. It went exactly how I kind of thought it would, but I'm not going to complain about that because I did thoroughly enjoy it. So we are following a woman named Rune, who is this like high society member. She's very wealthy. She's kind of known as being like airheaded, like just all she thinks about are clothes and beauty and whatnot. Like she secretly moonlights as the Crimson Moth, who is this witch figure who basically goes and rescues witches who are being kidnapped by witch hunters and taken prisoner. And because anytime they are being taken prisoner, it is to be executed. So a romance between her and a notorious witch hunter starts happening because she is using him. He's actually her best friend's older brother, but she is using him. His name is Gideon, I believe. Yeah, Gideon. Sorry, it's been too long. But she's using Gideon for his information to try and like seduce him to get information out of him about where witches are being held. And he somehow suspects that she could be the Crimson Moth. So he is also trying to seduce her to get information to see if maybe she is this person he's been hunting. And that is like a big part of the story, is that their romance and the two of them like not fully trusting each other, but kind of like using each other for their own means, but also falling in love kind of. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'm giving this a 4-star. It was very classically YA for me, but it worked so well. Like this is the type of story that I've always enjoyed, and yeah, it worked very well for me. And then I did start A Fragile Enchantment, and I'm gonna say right away, I'm not enjoying this. I really think that the writing is bad in this one. So we're following Naeem, who is an enchantress, but she's a seamstress and fashion designer, but she has some kind of magical ability that is not explained at all, and she's able to enchant the clothes that she makes with like, I guess like feelings, desires, like intentions. But she has recently become kind of notorious in court because so many people have been wearing her design. So the crown prince calls for her. She's in this like conquered state. He calls for her to come to court and design outfits for his younger brother, who is soon to be married to a princess. And the outfits, he wants her to like make all the events outfits, going up the royal like wedding events and also the royal wedding dress. So she comes and lives in court and is, I don't know, dealing with the princess, I guess. It is just weird on so many ways. So it is supposed to be a romance between the two of them, but he is really, really an asshole to start off with. And it's not really seeming like he's actually giving a redemption. It just kind of seems like she's going to accept that and like it. Also, for some reason, she is the seamstress and she is being invited to all of these like really like intimate family events. So she's being invited to all of these like things, like events that are happening between the prince and his bride-to-be, who's a princess from another realm, and like being invited on these like intimate like gatherings and stuff. And it's like, that's really not at all what you would expect from a seamstress. Like they seem to be, for some reason, giving her all of this access to all of these things that just like makes no sense. Yeah, like a bunch of people are supposed to have magic. It's terribly explained. Every bit of it is just like makes no sense whatsoever. And I am just deeply not enjoying this. The romance itself makes no sense. The world building is terrible. The magic system's terrible. And I don't really understand what's happening or why we're supposed to root before a romance between them, because it feels like there is absolutely nothing there. So like, I'm really, really anticipating that this is going to be like maybe a 2-star at best. It just like is giving nothing to me, nothing that I'm enjoying. And I really don't know at this point if there's going to be something that could redeem it, because like that's how far in I am. And also these edges are beautiful, so I'm upset, but I really don't know if there's going to be anything that will redeem this, will make me want to like give it anything higher than a 2-star, or anything that could make me care about the characters or their romance. Like there is really nothing. Like, yeah. I'm just really upset. I didn't think that this one would be fantastic, but I've heard so many people talk about it that I thought it would be at least decent, but here we are, unfortunately. So this one, not feeling great about. And then one thing I did want to mention too is you would have seen it in the B-roll, but the other day when I last filmed my updates, I went to a used bookstore in my small town for the first time. So it's this like tiny little charity shop, and I would say their taste in books is very much like was popular 20 years ago. So there's really not a lot of things there that I found interesting. There were a few copies of like Wheel of Time that I think I'm gonna try to grab because I do want some of the original covers. Like I really hate the editions that have been coming out like recently, especially after the show has come out. So I might try to start collecting those, and I think they do have a significant amount of them. It's very much like one of those bookstores where the majority of what they have is like Stephen King, James Patterson, like Nora Roberts, like just very classic authors. But they do have blind dates with the book. So I picked up 2 of them, just very hopeful. So like this one is for readers who enjoy urban fantasies, which yes, that is my favorite genre. And this one is a horrific fantasy. So I do have a feeling this could be Stephen King. But now that I have these, I'm gonna plan on doing a quick little video, just doing a blind date with a book. So keep tuned for that coming up probably in the next few weeks. And I'm really excited to see what actually could be in here. So I think I've talked for long enough. My voice is starting to go again, but I'm gonna go finish off a Fragile Enchantment. Really not expecting anything good, but I'll check in when I'm done. I can't remember if I've showed it in another video, but we do have a new coffee bar situation. So we just set up this where we have our freezer, drink fridge, all the utensils, appliances, whatever. But we brought over our coffee maker here, some extra mugs. We're gonna put shelves up here for like more of the appliances and all of the mugs and stuff. But right now we have this over here. It used to be over on this cabinet here where we had all of our coffee stuff, but we really have limited like shelf space, so this really wasn't ideal. So back over here we are, and I like it a lot. I think it'll definitely be perfect like once we get shelves up here. That way we'll be able to get like all the mugs off here and put away a lot more of the stuff, but I'm liking it a lot. To literally zero surprise, this was the 2-star. I think that this was terrible. Is that too harsh? Maybe. But I think that the world building was terrible. The magic system was terrible, made no sense. The main character was so extremely bland. She was so uninteresting, had zero personality, zero like anything going for her. And the prince, who is her love interest, was the most confusing character ever because he kept flip-flopping between just being a straight up ass. Like, I think she was trying to do like a grumpy enemies to lovers, but he was just like an ass, and then randomly would be sweet for like 1 page and then go back to being an ass. And apparently that was enough for our main character to fall in love with him. But it was just very uninteresting. All of the side characters were shit. Like they didn't really provide anything interesting. They really tried to make this also like Bridgerton, but in a magical world, because there was this whole subplot of, I didn't talk about this, but there's this whole subplot of this mysterious, like basically Lady Whistledown, I think that's what she was called, esque person who is writing these like letters about society and exposing the people in high society. So there's like all these secrets coming to light about the nobility and stuff, and that literally went nowhere. That was like nothing. It was really like, you thought it was setting it up the plot to be like this huge thing. It literally did nothing. And it was just so incredibly boring. So really disappointed. Actually, I don't even know if I'm disappointed because I didn't think I would like this one that much. But anyways, it was a 2-star. It wasn't good. Would not recommend. I don't even really see the appeal for anyone because I thought so much of it was just very lacking. And yeah, at least the sprayed edges are pretty. So there's that. But we're gonna hope for the best for the last book, which is Sing Me to Sleep, and I am that far in, which I think is 20 pages. 28 actually. So we're following a main character. That is something. Her name is Sorsha, and she is the last siren in her kingdom. So the kingdom she's in, it's ruled by these type of elves who have like very much persecuted anybody who's not an elf, I guess. And all these different types of magic users have existed, but they're like very, very deep in hiding and not really like not in no way revealing what their true magic thing is. So she's pretending to be a fae. She's just kind of pretending like she's a fae with no magic, which apparently happens occasionally, and is a soldier in training, but at night works as an assassin to bring in money for her family. And where I started, where I'm at right now, she's just at the end of her soldier training and is about to, like, they have to do this competition to see where they rank within all the graduates of their year. And based on that, they get a placement. So that's literally where I am. Apparently, it is a YA fantasy perfect for fans of The Cruel Prince and A Kill Kingdom. I liked both of these, so I am pretty hopeful. I'm hopeful. So she's a siren, she has some kind of water magic, and I'm hoping that that will be something I like. And so far the writing seems fine. Like there's nothing wrong with the writing, so hopefully this one will be good. So I'm actually quite enjoying Sing Me to Sleep. The writing is definitely like very simplistic, and this is one that I can like really tell is a YA book just because of that, but I'm actually quite enjoying it. And also let's just note how pretty these edges are and match this, like the water aspect of it, very beautiful. So Sorcha's a siren, and she had spent her entire life training to be kind of like a member of the military, and on the ranking day, which is like their final test, she ends up coming in first place. So she is offered the most like elusive, prestigious like position, and this ends up being part of the Crown Prince's Royal Guard. So originally she's very hesitant to take it because she is a siren, and she thinks that this would be like a little bit more dangerous for her because it might put her in like a position where people are able to figure out what she is. But she ends up receiving this like threatening note that's basically, it's in like the king's stationery, so it's somebody within the palace, but it's saying like, I know what you are, and you have to take this, you have to do this and this and this, or else we'll tell everybody that you're a siren. And also very much threatening her family that like they will reveal what she is, and it will like essentially bring all of their lives. So she becomes a member of the Prince's Guard, and we're following her as she's kind of like investigating things in the palace, trying to find out who is the one who's threatening her. But she's also like a secret assassin on the side. She works for this like mysterious employer, and we just found out she killed a very like important person to the prince. So she's trying to kind of like hide that and figure out how to keep that secret, how to like not get revealed for that. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it actually. I think that this is going to be like, it could be a 3 or a 4-star read, but if it's a 3, it'll definitely be a pretty enjoyable 3, I think. We're also learning that there used to be all of these other magical creatures in the realm, like aside from just sirens, fae, witches, but there used to be like giants and all of these other types of people, and they've all been massacred over the last like however many years because of this king who set up a barrier that basically blocked out all of its enemies, and that included every other magical creature. And then anybody who is within the barrier has been hunted down and killed. So she is like presumably one of the last sirens alive, but she's learning that there used to be a bunch of other magical creatures as well. So really enjoying it. I think it's also a super fast read, so I shouldn't really have that much longer to get through it, but I am gonna go get my hair done now. I have to leave in like the next 10 minutes, but I'm gonna go get my hair done, get these roots actually dealt with, and probably read a bit more tonight. I might actually, because I'm getting my hair dyed, I might be able to read while the hair dye is setting, hopefully actually. So I'm gonna bring my book with me just in case, but yeah, do that. Hopefully that won't take too long. Hairdresser, it's nice. It's actually like literally a 2-minute walk from my house because I live downtown in a small town, and moving here has been fantastic just for how walkable everything is. But yeah, I'll bring my book with me just in case, and we'll see if we can make some more progress. Hello. So I finished off Sing Me to Sleep, and very happy to say that I really enjoyed this one. So I'm gonna give it like a 3.5 star rounded up to 4 on Goodreads, but I really liked it. We're basically just following this siren who she's trying to hide who she is and trying to like resist also the lure of her power, because part of being a siren is that she is like incredibly drawn to water, drawn to the pull of water, the song, the magic, and desperately like is drawn to killing people by water also. So she feels this like inexplicable draw to like pull people into water and kill them. And she is very much trying to get past that in her life, and thus far has never been able to like actually move past it. So she is an assassin on the side and also gets picked to be a guard for like the prince's guard, I guess. She's really well there, kind of unraveling this plot that she realizes that all these people who she'd been contracted to kill before through like this mysterious employer are really aimed at taking down the monarchy, and she's kind of starting to realize that maybe she doesn't want that. She's also feeling things for the prince that she didn't think she would, and really feeling different ways about what she's done before and trying to find ways to like stop this disaster from coming. But then also learning all about how the monarchy has treated people of her kind and people other than Fae, and all of these things that she really like is trying to reconcile with and trying to find a way to like move past how she feels for this prince and all of that, and find a way for her people to go forward, I guess. And I really did like it. I thought it was like, the world building could have been a bit better, and the magic was a little vague, but I think that was kind of the point, is that it's just very elemental and there's not really any set rules. But I did enjoy it quite a bit, and I'm definitely going to pick up the second book when it does come out, because I'm really interested in this world and these characters, and I definitely do want to see where the story will go from here. So I have to say, this was pretty much a successful video. Like, honestly, aside from A Fragile Enchantment, I did enjoy all of these other books, and like enjoyed them more really than I was expecting to, because having 2 4-star reads was really not at all how I anticipated this going. To be very honest, I expected this to be 3s across the board, so I'm very, very happy that I had some good reads that came out of this, and feeling very happy with how this went. So I am still going to be canceling my subscription at some point in the future. It's basically, I just signed up for the new fairyloot romantasy box, and I've seen them talking about how they're going to do a combo, like book only adult and romantasy thing, and I think I'm just going to try to switch my membership over to that and cancel the YA, because I don't need it really. Like, as much as I do enjoy these books, it for the most part they haven't really been anything that exciting for me. So pretty much as soon as that is available, I'll be canceling it, which could be this month, it could be in a few months, but I'm hoping it'll be sooner rather than later, to be honest, because yeah, I don't really have that much interest in a lot of the books coming forward. The only one that I actually am a little upset about is I skipped the March box, and the book was A Tempest in Tea. I really do want to read that one. I'm really, really highly anticipating that book. I just didn't want the adult book. So anyways, there very, very soon will be no more fairyloot YA books coming in, but I feel fine with that. I feel very good, and I am very happy with how this one went. So please stay tuned and subscribe, because there will be lots more fun videos coming soon, and I will see you soon, hopefully.